Right guys, I've been home for 3 nights. I've just arrived, just unpacking my stuff, and it's so nice to be back. I've been doing a bit of shopping and things and going around the shops, and everyone's wearing masks and full face gear. It's quite scary actually. So it's a joy, absolute joy that I've got this place. I can't believe how lucky I am, to be honest. I've been opening up the tent, getting all my bits and pieces out. It's all nice and simple and peaceful. I just can't believe the difference between the two worlds. I'm struggling going back, to be honest. What's happening to the world? Just look at everyone in masks and gloves, and it's crazy times. I'm a changed man. I think that's the key to life, really, is having that bit of freedom. We tend to, when you analyse life, all you're really doing is working for that 3-4 weeks of freedom that you have a year. If you actually look at your life as a whole, how much freedom do you have in your whole life if you work it out? 4 years, 3 years of complete freedom. And I think that's why I like it up here so much. It's that freedom. You give a man a taste of freedom, and he's pretty sold on it. And I think that's what's happened to me. I've just become so free from being up here. It's lovely to be back, getting all your bits out, getting all the bits out of my landy and bringing them all down, and so nice. You got a nice bit of food, nice bit of power, some clean clothes. Although I've been, when I camped up here doing my long term, I was kind of washing my own stuff and charging, but obviously going home, might as well use the resources, the facilities at home to make things a bit easier. But now looking forward to this camp out. Gonna chill out. I think it's gonna be 32, 34 tomorrow. So I might spend a couple of nights in the hammock, see how I feel, see what the weather's like at night. I think it's quite warm at night, and Buster's pleased to be back. He's got a bit more range for his mind out here. But it's a pleasure. It's a real pleasure. It's a gift to spend time outside. It really is. It's such a rat race. Such a rat race. You don't realise. 3 nights and I've missed it. What a tent. So I'm planning on spending another 5-6 days and then obviously popping home again. So barring a few bits down. Got a nice clean dog's bed from home. Just change that. And obviously a bit of food and a spare bit of clothing, and recharge my power pack. So I'm pretty much set to go. So power pack's all been charged at home. Cleaned it all down as well because it was all dusty. So that keeps all my electricals nicely topped up. Great piece of kit this is. So it's all topped up and ready to go. With all my appliances and electronic cigarettes, cameras, torches, phone. That lasts a good 14 days. And obviously I've got my solar as well to top that up with. So that's going inside. So all my fresh clothes. Good old Mrs. B's done for me. I'll just chuck them in. Well, she's chucked them in the washing machine. Haven't bothered running an iron over them because you don't need to in the woodland. Crazy really how we iron our clothes just to look really nice in Civvy Street, but out here it doesn't matter if you got a few creases. So I put these. I've got a dry tank. So all my clothing lives in the dry tank, so it all doesn't get damp or it doesn't get anything on it, no dust or rubbish. They stay lovely and clean, as clean as the day they arrived. So offloading me food, I'll go in the fridge. That's been awesome. That been great for milk and butter. Just keeps it so cool. If you're new to my channel, I'll give you a bit of a tour of inside the Arctic tent. It's a 10-man military Arctic tent. I'm planning also to get the liner for it, as for the winter. So I've got a nice bed chair there, keep all my bits and pieces underneath. It sits on that side wall. The thing I like about this tent as well, it's got the kind of square sides. When I stayed in the teepee, you couldn't really plan it that great for a long-term camp out because the sides, but this is perfect. And I have been here for, well, kind of lived in here for 5 months now. It's been a lovely place. There, got given a little portable gas fire, so I thought why not. So that'll take the chill off in the winter. And then I've got a few electrical pieces there. There's my dry tank with my clothes in. I've got spare everything really, unless I get wet. Dog's bed. That's all nice and fresh now. I've got my 2.2 air canister in the corner there. So this is my indoor cook area, which I love. Awesome when it's really bad weather outside. You can just have a cook up in here or get a brew on. If you're new to my channel, I used to have all this in an Oz tent outside. I've bought all that in. I've taken the Oz tent down. I'm keeping that for my overlanding trips because it was getting rather hammered up here. I've got a spare 12-volt battery there that I charge with my solar panel. A couple of stands there. I put my crossbow and my 2.2 air rifle on them, so they're quite handy. The thing I like about this tent also, it's got this nice cordage that runs all the way around, so you can hang things off of there. And then in the corner near the front is my nice wood store. I've got all oak in there. That's all prepared for the winter. Me little wood burner. I'm hoping to maybe upgrade that, but I think it'll be fine for the winter. We'll see. If I get my hands on a new wood burner or something, it'll be nice, but if not, that'll suffice. I've got a little water tank on there as well, which is great. So it's really comfortable in here. It's a huge tent, especially just for me, and my coats hang up in the middle. But I thought I'd well, it's because I've had a break as well, it's quite nice to walk around here myself. On the floor I've just put a couple of cheap ground sheets down, and then I've kept the rest of the floor natural because it's just nice walking in and out get shoes and mud, and obviously busters in and out all the time, so you don't want to be scrubbing the floor every day. And that's my lovely view from inside the Arctic tent, and that's the rest of the camp. I'll show you out here as well. It's good for my other, my other viewers. Things are changing, evolving all the time at the camp, so let's have an outside tour, shall we? That's me wood store. Got some more lovely pieces of timber in there. I've got a nice stash of oak there. That's my favourite. And then here is me little bike park. I've got my bike so I can go out on rides and things, getting bits and pieces. Got to have a wheelbarrow in camp, it's a necessity. The outside table with a chair on there so I can have me meals. And then me lean-to. It's where I spend a lot of time. Apart from the Arctic tent, if the weather's bad, and I can cook in here as well. So I've got an outside grill, and that's a great piece of kit. Pretty much do everything that will. It's great for pizzas. And then up here I have my pots and pans. I've got a couple there that I leave while I'm not here, but I take all the others down when I go home. The little candle lights for night, I just hollowed that out and put a Frey Bentos lid in there and just hammered it down. It's quite effective actually at night. Simple but really good. And then my latest addition to the camp is my fireplace. I absolutely love the fireplace. But I've been cooking over campfires for quite a while now, and now I've got a permanent camp. I wanted something really practical, so I've come up with this kind of idea. It's a grate there, so you can put all your kettle, pots and pans. And then here I've got a hot stone, so I can do all me, bacon, burgers. I'm planning on doing a lot more cooking videos, to be honest, because I love camp cooking. And then underneath there is a great oven. I tried that the other day with jacket potatoes. So if you get hands on any rock and you make a hollow, and it traps heat beautifully. So not only can I cook on the top, but underneath it's a great oven. So I've done jacket potatoes and garlic mushrooms under there. And then the second plate there, nice bit of flint. That's awesome as well. That you can cook on there, but it doesn't get as hot, so it's kind of a hot plate. Then I've put a bar running through the two uprights, so you can hang things on there. And then I've got my chains. I've got one chain up at the moment, but I haven't put my other chain. I'll take that down. I have another chain coming down there, which you'll see later in the video, or a lot of you guys have seen it before. That comes down, and then you can hang your kettle on, your Dutch oven. In my previous videos, if you want to go and check them out, I have a piece of wood coming across as a spit, so you can put lumps of meat, chicken or bacon hanging up there. I think it's a really practical fire pit. It pretty much does everything I want it to do. But obviously if you can think of any more designs for it, any more ideas, I think I've covered it. But the griddle is definitely a must on a fireplace. And then just beyond the fireplace is my chair and table. I carved all that out with a chainsaw, and then I heated my rod that I use, my fire prodder, and I heated that up and made some nice decorative patterns on there. So I enjoyed doing that. So that's one of my chairs, a nice place to sit. And then I have a table round the back, which is really practical. And then my sawing station. And then I've got my other chair there, inspired by Dick Predicky, big fan of his, so kind of emulated the chair and just added a back to it. I love his chairs outside his cabin. This is a table come like work carving station. Then over this side is me half teepee with another chair and table, and a little my little hollowed out gas bottle stove. Just sit there, have your coffee, put that on, take the chill out. This is where my water platform is. You've seen me using it before. And my water bottle up there, and it's got a tap on it, so kind of running water. And then a couple of chopping blocks there, and my tool hanger. And then here I've hollowed out a log for the dog's bowl, so that fits in there. Saves him chasing his bowl. I don't know if you've got any of you guys have got dogs and they're chasing their bowl all around and turning over, and all the dust, sawdust and stuff's getting into the bowl. So that's a great piece of kit for the dog. Just, you know where his bowl is every time, and he knows where it is. And then rear of the camp is my kind of R&R hammock lounging area. I tend to leave the ridge line up for hanging all my washing or wet clothes if it's a lovely day. So that's lovely. Oh, you can tell I've missed it up here. This is my R&R area. I just love sitting here when the weather's like this, self-reflecting, and some deep thinking moments I've had here. And some of my plannings come from sitting in this hammock. But I love this bit. It's kind of offset from the camp, and it's just gorgeous. But hopefully this is kind of inspired you guys to maybe get a bit of land, or build a camp, or obviously get a bit of land and put a cabin or something on it. It's just it's awesome. And that's my view from the hammock. So it's a nice peaceful view, no noise. Here I have my water containers. They're great when I set up the tarp, and use the tarp to collect. And there's my little bonsai collection. Some of them have died and some of them are hanging on. It's just a problem when you go home and you miss out watering them. Carved them a few bowls out. Done that during my lockdown time. Right, so let's go over here. And then outside of the lean-to I have a outside cooking barrel. So I'll be doing a few cook-ups on that. And then over here is my little vegetable patch. Hasn't done too badly. If you know, same again if you want to check it out when I planted it. I've got a few crops out of it. Obviously it's all new to me, and it's new to me growing things in the woodland. It's been quite tough really, what with the acidic soil. Some things have just absolutely perished through the acid in the soil, so I need to try and neutralise that. So I've got a few bits going on. Potatoes have done really well because they like acidic soil. My blackcurrant was doing well, but the deer annihilated it, so eventually I'm going to put something around it, protect it, see what happens. And I've bought some tomatoes up, so I'm growing them, but they're in a pot. And then over here is my little nature sanctuary. So I looked after a squirrel, and kind of after he died I kind of wanted to give something back to nature, so I built this. There's a nice bird table, and hollowed out a piece of log, and got a nice water bath for the birds, especially when it's warm like this. They've been coming in and having a drink, and obviously the deer have been coming in here. And I've got a few little nut feeders. Got a squirrel coming in. There's not many squirrels in this woodland, but I've got one that comes in, and the jays come in and feed from there. And then here is my compost, so I'll be turning that over while I'm here. I chuck all my cuttings, my vegetable cuttings in there, and my eggshells. Eggshells are good for neutralising acidic soil. And then I built myself a swing. Me and Mrs. Bushwacker put this up. She loves sitting there swinging away. Now you can see why I love it so much up here. It's that free feeling. So this is a nice area to sit and have a swing. And then I've got my last bit to show you, which is me archery kind of shooting range, crossbow range. I kind of wanted to build the camp with, trying to incorporate everything into it to make it as practical, for me as it can be. And I think I've achieved that. I think I've got it down pretty much. Obviously a few other bits, but it's pretty much there. I built a camp before, and that was nice, using more natural material, shelters. Obviously I've got the Arctic tent to sleep in, but I do love that. But same again, that's an old material, canvas. I do like the canvas materials. It's bulletproof. It's gonna stand the test of time, and it's lovely and roomy in there. And once I get the liner in there as well, it's gonna be really, really warm. But I hope you've enjoyed me walking around the camp, showing you bits and pieces. A lot of it's been made from what I've harvested from the camp. Obviously a few bits and pieces bought in, but it's really great. So you can visualise, if you're really into this sort of thing, you can really visualise what it's like for me up here. It's so pleasant. Cleared all this ground as well. This was all full of trees and branches, and so it's lovely to walk around, nice clear ground. And then I've logged all that side of the Arctic, preparing it a little bit for winter, give it a bit more insulation. So when I get the liner inside, I'll have three layers of insulation on this side and part of the back. I was going to go all the way around, but I kind of stopped, and I think this is the area that gets a lot of abuse from the southwesterly winds. So I've done all that. I just need a little bit more moss on certain areas to chink it out. But like I said, this was what the ground was like all over this area. So it took a bit of clearing. It was quite wild, but it looks great, doesn't it, boy? You love it up here. He loves it up here. nice walks and nice food and nice R&R. He's got something to focus on, lots of things to look at. And this side, what I'm going to do away with these bits of wood, and I'm just going to soil it all up on the skirt, ready for the winter. So I stand back and just made a nice target. Well, Mrs. Bushwacker made that target. There's a bit of padding in there. It's faded a bit now, but serves a purpose. So that's for me archery, bow and arrow. Then I've got a Coke can hanging up there. That's great, as a moving target for shooting with my air rifle. And then over yonder, I've got another target put up on a board. That's probably 60 yards from camp for me 2-2. So that's perfectly positioned. And then to the left of there, I've got my crossbow target, which I can't see at the moment because all the brackens needs clearing. That's another job for me up here. Clear a passageway through to see the target. So that's looking back at the camp where I shoot from. And then on this piece here, I put a few cans and bits and pieces. So that's a great little platform for playing Tin Can Alley. You remember that game? You're old enough. Yeah, there's a memory from the past. Tin Can Alley. Great game. So that's quite a nice tour of the camp for you guys. You can see, my updates, and obviously for people that are new to the channel, it's a great way to see my camp and see what's what. And if you're planning on doing a camp yourself, you can grab some ideas from me, and obviously your own ideas. It's just awesome. That's what I like doing on YouTube, just watching and getting ideas from people and kind of putting your perspective on it as well, come up with a whole new concept. But no, I hope you found that interesting walking around. Right, I better start getting all my gear. I've been chatting too much. Get my gear out the Land Rover and start sorting things out. What a day! Bit of me, this. So my most popular question about this camp is, do I own the land that it's on? And the answer to it is, well, I've answered it before, but I'm going to keep getting this question over and over again, which is a good question. Do I own the land? No, I don't own the land. It is private land. It belongs to my friends. They've had it for about 30 years, and they use it not so often. They just, they come up and just have a cup of tea and coffee up here and bits and pieces, and we have a chat and things like that. But to get a piece of land to do this on, you'd have to go to land registry and see who owns the land. Maybe approach them and say, you're interested in doing a bit of nature watching or bird watching on that land, and then eventually build up a relationship with them, and maybe if you can put a hide on there and then say you're going to do an overnighter, looking at nature, and then see how it evolves with you and the owners of the land. But eventually I'd like to, if my friend decides to sell this, I would be quite interested in buying this plot, obviously, because I've built all this on it. but around the area where I live in England, the southeast of England, you're looking between 10 and 15,000 pounds an acre, and this is 7.5 acres of land here, so you're looking at a considerable amount of money to buy a plot in England. Obviously, you know, some places are cheaper depending on where they are, but this is in quite a nice woodland. It's, you know, it's in the Surrey Hills area, so this is a nice piece of woodland for the southeast of England. You know, when my friend said I could have permission to do what I love doing on here, then, you know, I was sold. But prior to this, I used to do loads and loads of wild camping, which I still do. You know, when we go in the Land Rover, you know, I tend to look for somewhere that I like, you know, on Google Earth or on the map, and then and set up, because I am a bit of a free spirit, you know, and I tend to respect where I'm staying. I don't leave any litter or rubbish or chop down loads and loads of trees and things like that. I tend to respect the land, or the owner's land. So yeah, so if you like the camp and you're thinking about doing it, obviously look at land registry, find a piece of land that you like, pay the £3, pinpoint the piece of land what you like, and they'll give you the contact details, and then you can do it that way, or, you know, contact farmers or things like that with plots of land with bits of woodland on the outskirts that they might not even use, and you'll be surprised. You've only got to ask it. There's no harm in asking, and then that gives you permission, that gives you a base. You're not always looking over your shoulder all the time if you're wild camping, you know, building things and lighting fires and things like that. You can relax more, because you know you've got permission, and you can pretty much do what you can on the land. Me and Buster would like to thank everyone on YouTube, all the kind messages, great advice. It's just been amazing. Like-minded people, all sharing the same passion, and some of the jokes and some of the funny comments on there, because, you know, I'm a bit of a prankster myself, so some of the comments have been really funny. I do like them ones, they do make me chuckle. And patrons, thanks to patrons for sponsoring me, you know, supporting me along the way. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to do this. That's been awesome. That helps with all my trips and my equipment and food and all the planning and prep. You know, all takes time and money. So thanks so much. Your money's being put to good use in what our family do. You know, and Becky as well, she gets huge support, so a great thanks to you guys for supporting my daughter. She's over the moon. You know, she wouldn't be where she is today if it wasn't for the great support on Patreon and the great advice on YouTube. Cheers guys. Enjoy the great outdoors.